Hello, welcome to another Red9 demo. This one is one that we've been meaning to do for a while. All the demos we've done so far have all been on the Red9 Puppet rig. We'd love everyone to use Red9 Puppet rig, that'd be awesome, but we're more than aware that at the moment it's a service. And lots of people are using the Art rig from Epic, or they're using M-Gear or some of the other rigging systems. As a teaser, Puppet rig will be inside ProPack at some point this year. We're working hard on that. Anyway, what I want to do in this demo is go through a new feature that's gone into ProPack where we can wire a standard rig in one click. The idea being we've got the Unreal Art rig here, and I want to turn it into not a Red9 Puppet, but at least tell all of the tool sets to use it as we expect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the ProPack, I'm going to go down to the rig manager here, which is on the other screen, and everything is red. There's no rigs in there at all. There's no system. We know nothing about this rig. Now then, the place to look at this, if we go to this MetaNode UI, everything in Red9 is meta-based. If that's empty, there's nothing in it. The tools know nothing about it. There is a caveat to that. We have two different systems. So we have the Studio Pack, which is the open source build, which is a lot more simple and abides by a slightly different set of rules. And then we have the ProPack, and the ProPack is the one we're going to concentrate on today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have nothing selected. I'm going to go wire, and it'll fail. And basically it says, please select the export skeleton route before running the calls. And the export skeleton route is the one that you want to go out to engine. So I'm going to set the skeleton route. I'm going to try that again. Wire. Character name, I'm going to call him Bob. Don't ask me why. The character name is basically what we use for the ID inside the export systems, and we'll go through that as well. So you can see everything turns green. We've got a load of feedback. You can see we've got an export tag called Bob, and we've got all of the control systems in place. The only other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give it the render meshes. Now the render meshes are basically the meshes that will go out for output. So I'm going to set those and basically just select them and click the render mesh buttons. They're using a number of systems to display where the character is, particularly the Redirector, so we'll get onto that as well. There's a demo of this and the order of this and why they're important if you go to help Vimeo demo tutorial. I'm not going to dwell on too much of this. It's more a case of realizing that that's there and you can one button click and it will all connect. So if I close that off, if we now open the MetaNode UI, you'll see we have Bob, which is the root of the system, that's the rig. We have an export tag, and we have a load of subsystems. So unlike wiring it to, let's open that back up. Unlike wiring it to the, we did another demo here of wiring it to the external rigging systems. This is wiring it directly to the ProPack. This is wiring it to the main Pro Meta rig. So this is a little bit more intense. And what it means is, well, first off, if I right click over anything, you'll see we get a different DAG menu. These are bound to the mrig node. So if it finds a control that's bound to an mrig, you'll get this menu. And the menus are based on the system. So if I select something on the arm, you'll see we have 0 arm system. If I select the head, lo and behold, you have the head system, etc., etc. So the menus change depending on where we are. Let's get some animation on this guy. In fact, let's open up the file that is animated. Just clear that off because you shouldn't be seeing some of this stuff. Let's load that and then that. No, we'll ignore that. Okay, so we've got a bit of animation on the rig. And this is the same rig. I wired it earlier on. So again, if I right click, we get all the systems. So straight off the bat, I can do really simple things. So for example, let's say we've got an idle pose there. If I right click, pose cache current, and I go to a different frame, say the end there, I don't know, anywhere in this. Let's say he's meant to be at that frame there, the same pose. I can go load relative, bosh, and he's now at the same pose. So that's loading the pose and dynamically pushing it to a different place. I can come into the hierarchy control. In fact, this is one we need to do. When we've wired to the ProPack, we need to select this, Red9 devrig config. That's all you need to do. Everything else you can ignore. As long as that's on and this is metadata, we're all good to go. That's an important one. And at that point, I can load poses in from the pose library. So the pose library is now fully supported with this because we wired it through the rig manager. So again, if I were to load that and we want to build a pose library up, save pose, I don't know, what are we, frame one. Didn't set the route. Yes, we did. There we go. Didn't set the route. Excuse me. So I'll try that again. F1. Dink. Not pop in. Latest one. There's frame 1. So that's in my library, and I can load that again against anything. So I can. In fact, I can actually pose blend the thing in if I really wanted to, and just blend that data up, and I'll just soft blend that data in and out. or we can load it, and we can load relative. Again, it's more a case of just showing you that all of a sudden all these things are supported. We can mirror. This is actually came about because Rigging Dojo wants to mirror some sequences on the art rig, and they couldn't figure it out, or rather there was no mechanism to do so. So I can just simply go, oops, I have to select part of the rig, mirror pose. I can mirror the animation as well, so I can mirror what he's doing. He's swinging to the back. If I go mirror pose, he'll be swinging towards us. There we go, all nice and easy. Again, this is one button click to connect it to the rigging systems. All of the systems here are now know about the rig and the systems. But if we go more importantly into the ProPack, let's just hit 2 of the animation systems, and we'll do the export, and then we'll call it a day. I'll ask some questions. So let's open the load save. So this is the R9 anim saver. I can save this as a piece of R9 anim. All I've got to do is save. We've got the same config here, Red9 dev rig config. That's really important. Has to be on that, otherwise it won't know about it. Save the data. I'm going to call it. I thought I had this saved already. No, I haven't. Okay, well that's cool. I'll call it test. Test. Be original with the names. Okay, so that's now saved. You'll see the UI gives us a feedback, which is basically set for reloading. So once it's stored it propagates the UI because it's expecting you to then, I don't know, go away and load it on a different rig, for example. So let's say we want to load that animation, but we want to load it at that frame. So we want to continue this animation on. I'm going to include root. That's important. In fact, I won't include root to start with, and we'll show you what happens. We're going to load from the current frame, and I'm going to load it relative to the position of this node here. So load relative, full history, from current frame, load. So it's going to load it from 120 to 239, I think it was. And it's loaded relative, so it'll carry on from that point there. So there's the new animation come in, and he's going to just carry on. Well, he's not going to carry on. He's going to pause. And he pauses because this controller here that is pushing him along on a locomotion is actually the root, and we've told it to ignore the root. So that's what that's done. That's why it's done it. If I come in, we'll start again. We'll go 129. Add a blend range just to blend it in. And we're going to do the same thing again from that node load. This time he'll carry on walking because I've got the include root set. Dink. There we go. So we've got an animation, and he's just going to carry on going. So we built. So you can see if we're going to build animation libraries off, we can really quickly build anim libraries, connect them, load them relative to nodes inside the rig, and it's all supported. This is treating the art rig as a pro rig. There are a few things that don't work. Things like the IKFK switching and the IK matching, that requires a lot more systems and a lot more knowledge. And we kind of figure, well, you've got the art toolkit, you know, that's what that's there for. But this expands it quite significantly. The other thing which is worth knowing about is the Redirector. We had a question the other day about can we do things like aim poses? Can we do more specific modifications to animations? Well, yes, we can. Let's do, for example, we'll do this first 40 frames. I'm only going to do a bit just to make this nice and quick. Set. And I'm not going to do the complex path. Excuse me. I'm just going to build simple redirect, which is a one node only redirect from the frame that it starts at. So he's going to come up here, and if we, in fact, that didn't build a georeference. Do you know why? Because I bet I didn't actually mark the georeference up. No, I didn't. Damn it, this rig hasn't got the georeference. Let me see if I can wire that. Might not let me because this thing's referenced. Art rig, geo, that, set renders. Okay, is it going to let me? That might do. Okay, let's just undo that. Delete the, oops, no, I didn't mean to apply. Never mind. Let's just delete the guides. Start again. That one. Build. You should get, there we go, mesh references. That's what the render wires are there for when I was saying about the render wires. So what we've got here is a simple static redirect. It's static because it doesn't give you the option of doing it dynamically inside the path. You can't make him walk around things. This is just a redirect as a gross. But what it can do, and if I make this live, we've got this first 50 animations, first 50 frame animations. Well, if he's got to walk 45 degrees to the left, I can come into here and I can go, do you know what? I don't know, what are we doing? 45 degrees. 45 degrees to the left. Done. That's him now walking across 45 degrees. And if you want to target it and you want to aim it and very specifically make him do things at different angles, you know, this is really easy. And it's live. You know, this is all dynamic remapping. If I delete that, if I wanted to make him walk around circles, I can turn the complex path on. I can do a build guide. So if let's do, have I just broken it by doing that? No, I've not. Let's just do, sod, it's quite quick. Let's do those first frames, those ones there. Build a raw guides. Those are the raw guides. Sync the cloud. Off it goes. Make live. Okay. Shift that over there. So he's now live on a remap node. Lock start. Yes. Okay. And now I can just grab these things and I can live redirect where he goes. If he goes, and if I do that, he will now hopefully walk around the corner. So again, you can see the power that all of a sudden you've got by literally just using the ProPack and wiring the thing. The other one that we haven't gone through, and this is very relevant to this particular system, is the export manager. The exporter is something that we've been working really hard on. We've got a number of clients who use this as their main output systems. In fact, we've got a lot of clients that do. And the main thing is it's designed to be batchable. So this is a really important feature of this. If I go and we go add a loop, these are shot loops, so we can call this whatever we want to call walk. You've seen me use go through the export before, but this is the same sort of thing. But this is showing you how it's exposed in terms of what we've just done. So there's Bob as an export. There are different methods of output. This is really important actually. So by default, skeleton duplicate. Skeleton duplicate does what everybody else does, which is a bodge. Basically, it duplicates the skeleton, binds it up, samples it, and outputs that for FBX. Most rigs do this, most outputs do this. It'd be great if FBX did it for you, but it doesn't. So that's what that one's there for. Selective is just that. What it will do is it will select the systems, so it'll select the rig and it'll select all the geo, but obviously you'll get these nodes above it because it doesn't know how to remove it, because it's just literally doing a selection and an FBX output. So that one will output to engine, and if in fact let's just output this data now. We'll do FBX output. We could do an R9 anim. So this would basically create an R9 anim, and obviously you can get the idea that if you're trying to chunk a file up, so you've got to walk to a run to idle to jump to whatever, and you've got one animation file, you can just stack loads of export loops up and have it propagate all these for you. It's perforce managed. If you've got perforce and you've got the project set up to be perforce, so this is our project management. If you've got down here, wherever it is, project true, this will connect to perforce. This will feed back and this will push any changes and any exports you've done into the perforce change list for you. Playblast we're working on. So let's just do this one, Bob, output, export. In fact, before we do, I'm going to show you one more thing, export outputs. We have a load of additional management for the output. And what we do is, by default that's off, which means that what you get is this character doing exactly what he's doing and just the skeleton data. Okay. If this is on, we can do what we do is what we call a scene route, which basically allows you to flip and modify the transform data amongst that rig. So you effectively, it will take the scene, group it, flip it around, run the exports, and then flip it back. So you can control the axis it's facing, the axis whether you want to change up axis, etc. We've also got rig compensate, and that one's really cool because it means for every single export loop you've got, you might have 10 different export loops, and you might have the start of each export loop. Maybe you want to drag it back, have it at world 0, have it start at world 0, and output each one as that for a game engine, rather than having them in the world space. That's exactly what this thing will do. I'm going to deactivate that for the time being because I don't want it. So I'm just going to go selective, skeleton duplicate. I've selected the export node, run the exporter, off it goes. With CNET art test SBX. Okay, so that's outputting done. Load of fresh mayor up, and we've got some anim data, which is that one there. 21, that's the one. It comes, and there we go. That's our nice clean FBX data output for you. So let's summarize that. We've got the art rig in. We loaded the the Pro rig publisher. We hit the wire, and it's all of a sudden turned all of these capabilities on for you. This stuff is all batchable. So even if we opened up the browser, and the browser is the way we batch manage functions and files. If you had 15 animations, 15 MA files, and they all had export loops on, you can literally select them all up, right-click, export, and it'll do the whole lot. You can output the entire library of animations and not worry about it. As long as they've got tags, the thing will load the files up, output the data, and update all your systems, and Perforce commit them. This is also Perforce managed, so this is a Perforce browser. If I were connected to a repository, I'm not, because I don't want to show you the Cloud Imperium repository or one of the other clients, but if it were, you would see all of the functions, all of the files. They'd all have color codes against them, whether you've checked in, whether they've got latest, etc. All of this by literally doing that one button on the Art rig. So it massively extends the capabilities. If you're using Art, it really is a massive toolkit that you can use just by doing that one function. That's it. There'll be more coming. We're going to look at MGear. Like I say, we are hoping at some point this year to release the ProPack Red9 Puppet. That's work in progress, but for the time being, we thought we'd cover some of the basics. Thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, just contact us. Thanks very much. Bye.